Hello together.
Hello.
Welcome to Fun with RELUX, episode 13.
What's our topic today?
Interfaces. Yeah, today we're talking about interfaces. Maybe you think we're talking about GLDF, but we mix this both topics, or we exchange this both topics. So GLDF will be the topic next in the next episode, and this episode we talking about interfaces. And yeah, not be confused. Next time you will see GLDF, we just exchange these two topics. Yeah, Klaus, what are interfaces?
Interfaces. Okay, this is a word. It's a large word. It's a wide range of things what we can about that we can talk about it. But especially we want to show and demonstrate you some interfaces which are available in the RELUX desktop since a very long time, since the beginning, since the middle of the 19th. Interfaces which can used by third-party programs to interact with the RELUX program, so they can give us input, for example, the shape of a room, and we can also transport output information like the calculated positions of the luminaires, the calculation results back into this format. And in the beginning, we have a very simple format, which is called Ascii, or ReCad I, version 1. It was a kind of Ascii format. It's our own development from a simple text file that can be used for this functionality. And a short time ago, we have updated this functionality with a new version, ReLuxCAD II, which is XML based and give you much more possibility. And I guess the best thing is we can show this directly and explain it while we show it, which gives you much more
information.
Yeah,
interfaces are more and more important today, because you not just have one application to do all your work. You have, I'm quite sure, you have a tool chain of applications in order to get your job, your design, whatever done. And that's why is RELUX quite open to have interfaces to other applications in order to get information from the building, which we need to do lighting. We need to have some building informations, the room surfaces we need, and the coordinates of the room, and also to give what we have calculated, that we can give this results or the bill of material of the luminaires back to another application. So this is not so easy as it sounds, and we try to be connected to all other applications. And the first point where this Ascii interface where Klaus talking about is quite old, and this was the original reason was to connect to CAD applications, to get the CAD drawings into our RELUX. That if you have draft and room in one application, in a CAD application, you can throw it into RELUX with an Ascii file and get back the result and the luminaire positions into your CAD application. So also this Ascii really old format. Ascii means text, so it's a text file where you can see where's the room coordinates, what kind of reflection degrees, where are the luminaires, what kind of luminaires you have in it, just to interact with other applications. And so let's have a look into this. We want to show you a little bit, and this episode could be a bit of nerdy. So we have a lot of technical insights. We will have a look and quick and short look into data formats, how to interact with these data formats with RELUX, and we will demonstrate a bit, but it's necessary that we have a look into an XML file and so on, that you can get it. So let's have a look into this stuff. I will share the screen right now, and in this episode, I hope it's set it right. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Next try. Yeah. In this episode, you can see our background. So this is not normal. Normally, you see just I guess it's blue in the end, some kind of blue screen. And here you can see now the desktop of our computer here, and this is fine because today we're going a bit more into the technical details. So first of all, I want to show you how this old ASCII file looks. Here we have one of this. This is one of the oldest parts in RELUX, where we have here a text file, an ASCII file, where we have all the informations in the text file of a room. And this is one of the limitations of the ASCII file. You have just one room. It just works with one single scene room and not with multiple rooms. But you have everything here, calculation results, coordinates of the walls, ceiling, and also
walls, windows,
doors, and also the luminars, and the luminars including an Olm.dat file, which is also in this text file available to the detail. So the complete Olm.dat file is just wrapped in this text file again. And with this, you can in and export your rooms and with your luminars through RELUX. This is one of the older stuff, but we had a lot of limitations, and also the format has some limitations of itself. So the next logical step was to create an XML based ReCad, and we take the name ReCad, so we leave it as it is and just add a 2 behind it, and this is an XML based file looking like this. This is an ReCad XML file. And here we have multiple rooms. So here, for example, you can see we can open up the project. We have here an exterior scene, an outdoor scene, and interior scene with a building, with a floor, and with multiple rooms on it. And these rooms can have luminars. In this case, this is an empty floor, an empty building. There's no luminars in, but this building was created in this file format. You can also save your projects in this file format even without luminars, or you can create it with another tool or with a CAD application. You can create this kind of file. Also the Gbxml, the guide how to create this XML file is also available for free on our knowledge database on our website on relux.com. I will show it in a couple of minutes. And here you can see that we have a room and so on with coordinates. And this I'm going to import in RELUX just to demonstrate how this looks. And we have one room after another with the name and so on available. If you can create, or if your application, your CD application and so on could create a ReCad file, then it's possible to import it, import this in RELUX. And this works not with import and not with open. This just works with open from. You have to click to open from, and now it feels like I start a new project. And in the way you're doing it, you create a new project. You have the possibility to enter a project number and an object and whatever, and customer, but also you can skip this. And now you have to select the ReCad file. This works with this old ASCII files, if you have still one, but it also, of course, works with the ReCad file. And you can also see here what kind of files we accept as a new project start. For example, also Gbxml, we will also see later, Excel files, and so on. And here we took this ReCad II file, and now it's reading it in completely. And here we have our building now available. No, not just this room with a window and with a door, but also the complete building, the complete floor. Here's an image of the floor, and something like this is possible. And you do not need to redraw the walls and so on. Everything is here. And now you can populate this with luminars and also save it back as a ReCad file. And this works also here with file, but not save from or save to. It works with export. You can export your project with luminars or normal project also, not just ReCad input. You can save everything or export everything as a ReCad file. And here you can also choose between the old ASCII format and the newer XML format with multiple rooms, more objects, exterior scenes, and so on in one wrapped project. And you can save this, and then you can read it. So I can close this now. And here's an example with a populated one. And if you save a ReCad file with luminars in, you have a bit of luminar information here. And most important, of course, you have also values of your calculation. Here, for example, you have values for illumination and also uniformity, for cylindrical, for horizontal, and so on. And here you have all the information about this in a data format. So this means this is possible for other applications. It's not really human readable. So this is something for machines to communicate with RELUX. So from one application to another, it's not meant for humans. No worry, we will see later today a bit of Excel sheets, which is more human readable, but this is for machines built. And this is in since a year or 2 years, we have this ReCad interface recreated. And here we have a link to our website. Sorry, this is in German. You can also easily switch it to English. I tried to do it. No, it's not here possible anymore. Imagine it's the same stuff, just in English. And here we have what I have told you, what I've shown you with open from, most important, and also the export path. And here we have also a link to the specification of this ReCad. So, and this is needed from everybody who wants to implement this interface in his CID company-owned applications to connect with ReLux with this ReCad format. Yeah.
Yes, and we hope that if you have, if you are working with some programs, and you have a need or a wish to communicate, to build a communication between these both programs with ReLux desktop and the other kind of CID program, for example. So we offer you that you can publish this information to this other software or to your IT department, and so they have the possibility to create tools for you which may help you a lot, speed up your work, your daily work in a really good way.
With this ReCad export, for example, you can create bill of materials or have all the results in a custom way available. So this is a big communication tool for us, this ReCad interface. And we have also something prepared with ReCad to show you. This is quite new. This is available since this year. And this is our ReLux calculation core, our radiosity calculation core. We have stripped this calculation core on Linux, on a Linux server. So this is a server-based calculation core. And you can interact, you can communicate with this calculation core, with this online calculation core via ReCad. So this is possible that you send a ReCad file to us and we calculate it for you and you get it back. And I just want to demonstrate this, how this works. For this, we have bound the Eulem.dat files, the photometrics you need, together with the ReCad file itself in a zip file called ReCad Z. And in this ReCad Z, you can see the ReCad file here in this example with 2 rooms. It's a quite simple XML file. We have just here one Eulem.dat file, one LDT file to have a Lumina in. We have 2 rooms, room 1 and room 2. And this room has a simple geometry with 4 walls each. And here we have 2 Lumina positions with their coordinates. And here we have a couple more, I guess it's 8 luminas in another room, also with their coordinates. And this is created by also in software, of course. For example, a website, or this can also be an Excel sheet or something else, or your ERP system, CRM system, whatever, could probably create this stuff. And then we can send this together with this Eulem.dat file, with the LDT file, to our server. I have prepared it here. This is a batch file which does the job. Here I have to pick, takes a while. Here I have to pick the ReCad file first. Here, this is the ReCad file. And let's see if you can communicate. Yeah, we can communicate with our server. And the result is back. It's fast as this. And the result, you have the same ReCad file back, but now populated with Lumina information and also, of course, with results. And results down to the point. Each single grid point of the calculation is here available with an own illumination value in Lux. And this is quite a lot of information, and in the end you have also some kind of UGR value with this specific room and your specific luminance. You have an UGR value, also important, cylindrical, and so on, and you can also calculate a lot of the grid points. And just to demonstrate for what you can use this, I've prepared an Excel sheet, in simple one. And in this Excel sheet, I've just put in simple rooms with length, width, and height, and a couple of luminars in terms of Olm.dat files. I put the Olm.dat files here just in columns to make it simple. You can also create your own Olm.dat files and put them here. And if I now click here on calculate, in the background, we create this RELUX ReCad file together with the Olm.dat files in a zip folder, throw this to the calculation core on our server, and you get the results back in XML file. And the application here, this Excel sheet, is getting these values out of this ReCad file directly into Excel. And to demonstrate that also we have the point information on this, we also put the grid points into this Excel-like false color demonstration that you can see here. Okay, here are 2 luminars or 4, I have no clue how to see here. It's just the values and not the luminar positions. And just to demonstrate how this external calculation core could work. And now it's up to your fantasy what you can do with it, with your Excel, with your ERP system, CRM system, PIM systems, whatever, to getting an automized calculation without having this RELUX interface open. You can directly communicate with an interface to our calculation core. This is possible, and but I have also to say this is a commercial project. So this is, the access is not for free. The access is cost money. I cannot tell you how much it is at the moment. This is quite new, but it's also possible for a couple of days to use it for free, just to get a feeling about this. So if you want to play with these options, just send me an email. And then we will provide you the documentation about this tool and how to work with it. And the last thing I want to show you from my side, then I gave over to Klaus, is an interface, a next interface called Gbxml, Green Building XML file. This is also an older data format created for energy evaluation. And this Gbxml file is a bit of primitive compared to IFC or ReCad files and so on, but you have the whole building with floors, with rooms and so on, with a room description, but just down to the concrete. So it's quite primitive, but you have openings like doors and windows for energy evaluation, sunlight evaluations, and this green building XML files looking like this. Let's open with an XML editor. Yeah. It's an XML file again, hard to read even for technical people like us. But here you have again a building with space and names of rooms and so on. So a lot of rooms. And let's open up this in RELUX. This is also possible that we have green building read in. We cannot write green building files. It's not on the list, but we can read it in RELUX and to provide you the existing building just in RELUX and not to recreate it by redrawing it on a CAD background. So here again, it's open from. This you have to keep in mind if you work with this open interfaces. And here we have the office building as Gbxml file. Here you have the option to switch on, switch off different rooms. So you need not to import everything. You can here also decide what you want to import. So I just make the complete building inside RELUX, and here we have the complete building out of this Gbxml file with here in this case 2 floors, and you can straight go to one desired room and start to placing luminars or making your design directly here.
The use case for this green building files is that when you are working together with a let's say, with an architecture, with the office of an architecture who uses any kind of BIM software, not only Revit, also Bentley or ArchiCAD or something like that, and they already have a BIM model from their building, you can ask them, please export me a Gbxml file, and then you can very simply import all the rooms directly into RELUX Desktop and start with the work inside of RELUX Desktop. And this will also spare you a lot of time if this is possible. And the most of the BIM systems supports this kind of Gbxml export in their system.
Yeah, there are a lot of, because it is quite simple. It looks complicated, but Green Building XML is also quite simple compared to other BIM formats, or BIM-like formats, and this makes it easy to implement for a software house, and that's why a lot of software applications support Green Building XML, and this is also an easy way to get it. So if you have the opportunity, take it and get Gbxml files. Okay, and this is the moment where I can handle over to Klaus to show you some Excel options.
I just show you, compared with that what Robert shows to you, which is more the possibilities we will have with ReCad, especially for this automatic calculation, but also for the communication between CAD software and RELUX Desktop. Is much more powerful. I just want to show you because of we have this interface also a long time ago. I need just a calculated project. The possibility, it is not only import, we have also the possibility interfaces for exporting some information from RELUX Desktop into other software. And let's just see here. We have here a 3D building, a 3D floor, which is already calculated. And we have the possibility here. We go to the back page and we go to export, and we have here also the possibility to run some exports into as a part list as one. That's what I want to show first. I will override this. And then you will get Excel sheets for each room in your building where your luminaires were listed as a kind of parts list, and you can use it for some other things. This is not totally new, but what is new in the past, we have always this old Excel format XLS, which is Excel format since around the middle of the 90s, and now it is also possible to make this export in the new XLSX format, in the current format of Excel. And as I shown here, you have here the possibility to create part lists, but you have also the possibility here to export the results. Here, room by room, I will here now take one of these classrooms.
Because there's so many results you will see, so that's just for one room. Otherwise, it will be filled up the Excel completely. Here you have just for one room all the surfaces.
And then you can see for the grid results from all surfaces here in this project, for this room of the project. But a little bit more useful, I guess, is the possibility that when you are inside of the RELUX and you have opened a table. Moment, please.
So any table works with this method.
Yes, you can also use this for any kind of tables, also for daylight quotient or glare or whatever.
Luminance.
If it is already open, you can make a right click, and then you will also find in the context menu the option export table values. And then you will have directly this table as in exported into Excel, and you can use it for some other things you may need it. Okay, we have also one interface more. It is the possibility to import street scenes directly from an Excel sheet. But this we have shown in another episode of Fun with Relux, I guess episode 9 or something like that,
We have to check,
about Street.
Yeah.
And there we have already presented this this interface, and so you can take a look on our records. And I guess at that point we will.
Yeah, we have one thing felt in my mind spontaneously, which we also can show with Excel. It's the new Lumina list.
The new Lumina list?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Sorry. I forgot.
This is also quite new, and we are not really prepared, but it's worth to at least get it getting demonstrated what we can do with this. You have to go to one room, and in this room we have here a new docking window, and it's a bit of hidden. It's called Lumina list, and this is quite new and really new. So please be patient if it's not works as it looks as expected, because this is really new, and we're starting to have our experience with this. And in this Lumina list, we have all the information of the in the scene available luminaires, and you can also, this is one of the intentions, you can change values here directly, like an Excel sheet. But it's also possible to copy and paste into and from an Excel sheet directly in this list. So for example, here the positions, so I can select the positions, just the positions X, Y, Z, copy it. So I need to have this, I'm not sure if I get this. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just mark it once again.
Yeah, mistakes. So not prepared, as you can see. So I select it again.
Right.
Copy, and now we need to open up Excel somewhere here. And we can paste it, and also it works also the way back around. Here I can paste. No, not enough. Can you please make copy V? Yeah. And you have it now in Excel, and here it's also possible to change, for example, the height to 3. And I put this 3 here over this. And now it's possible to take this back. Go to RELUX again, and we need to 1 second, and now paste it, please. Yes, and now you have it to 3 meter changed. We need to refresh, and no.
Oh, it's some
kind of.
It's a kind of bug.
It's
we
a
have
kind
to
of
fix.
Bug. Yeah.
But now I realized we must it immediately.
This I meant with this is quite fresh, but yeah, but this is the functionality, and I'm sure in the next of the couple versions also this pendant stuff will also be solved. Let's check where
it will work with normal luminaires, with small luminaires. The problem here is a little bit it had used just this is a combination luminaire, and it puts changed the position of the part of the luminaire.
You can see it. Yeah, we have here the geometry, and we have here the luminaire itself and the geometry in a combination. Yeah.
Okay, that's
the point.
The point we have already in our to-do list.
Yeah.
Okay.
But nice to be more technical today with you, and even to show you the edge of this development. Yeah, so that's all what we have prepared, and even a bit further of this. And so let's go to the questions. I hope you have some questions. I do not want to save. I want to stop the screen sharing and open up the questions. And I need to make the screen a bit bigger. And we have just one question or comment. Okay, this is more a technical one. So issues with connecting.
Yes, we also realized this morning that our theme today is a little bit nerdy and a little bit very technical. So we see this in the amount of questions.
Less questions.
Less questions here at the moment. But however, just this this kind of Fun of RELUX was a little bit that you can take a look on it, and maybe you have the need and you work together with programs where you can say, oh, it would be great if I can export, for example, you not only need to import the scenes in Brevis, but for example, you want to export all the luminaire positions and want to use them in any other kind of software, then it may be helpful. You can analyze the RELUX CAD II file for extracting this data out of these files and use it in any kind of other software. Now we get some
questions. How can we transfer projects from Dialux 4 to RELUX? Only with luminaire lists or some interfaces can be used? That's a good question.
That's a really good question.
Like question.
So please ask Dialux for implementing the RELUX CAD II interface into Dialux.
Or force us to take the interface.
But you are asking for Dialux 4, I guess.
Yeah, in Dialux 4 there's also a similar interface called STF. So this is their ReCAD, but just in text, so in Ascii. And so, yes, it is very.
Would not so difficult to make a converter.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done a conversion in the past. So it's you can connect ReCAD to any else. The disadvantage of STF from Dialux is that it's not really in both directions in Evo. So in Dialux 4, it is in both directions. I guess it's a bit time ago. But we have from Dialux and RELUX we have not any clue about the project format. So it's not possible for us to go into their project format and vice versa. So this is really an enclosed world. But with this open interfaces, it might be possible to hack you into this to do it. And also Gbxml is also a possible options, but both applications just read it in and not write it out. So this is also not an option, but maybe with the Gbxml export and the converter to ReCAD, then it would be possible. But also for what reason to have the same project in both? Because both applications are quite similar in the results. We will not see any big difference. I've seen some studies. So, but we're going too far in this question. Next question. Thank you. Before I have been using other lighting design software, I think RELUX software is the most efficient. Thank you for this. As I have been using it inside Revit, yes. My question is that if I used in Revit, does it take furniture into consideration for external lights? External lights in Revit, do you mind sharing video tutorials?
Yes, but here at this point in Revit, we have already a plugin. We support. We have already implemented a plugin, so you don't need to have to use this interface functionality. We are also using this interface functionality or another kind of interface functionality, but it is already existing with the plugin. So for Revit, there is no need to create a interface versus RELUX CAD because there is already from our side a plugin existing, which makes this makes similar the same what we are doing with what we are showing for with RELUX CAD.
And this it takes furniture in consideration, and you can also export the furnitures into RELUX desktop if you like. But you also it also takes in consideration by calculating directly in Revit photometrically, then it's also should work with furnitures. Next question from my friend from Brazil. Greetings to Brazil, Jose. How do you interface with IFC? Also a good question. Also IFC is quite popular, and it's also a really nice format to inter-exchange with building models. We have today we have not a directly IFC interface to RELUX desktop, but we can also use IFC, but with the route via RELUX via Revit. You need to have Revit. You need to import your IFC in Revit, and with Revit we have a really nice interface to RELUX desktop, and this is the way in RELUX desktop via Revit. This means you need to have Revit in order to use IFC with RELUX desktop, but we are open to any new interfaces, and we are also open for IFC, and we also working. I can say also at the moment on an IFC interface, but I cannot tell you today how deep it will be integrated in RELUX Desktop. We create a IFC interface for something else, which I cannot tell you today. And part of it can be probably used also in RELUX Desktop, and maybe we'll create an internet export of IFC into desktop. But today it's over Revit.
Okay, next question. Hi, can architects, etc., export for these ReCad and XML files from their programs? In the case which programs? Yes, this is the intent. This is our mainly intent for this ReCad interface, so that other software can communicate with ReLux Desktop in both directions. And any kind of project has the possibility. Okay, it depends a little bit on the software you are using on the other side, but there are a lot of software available on the market which have a kind of programming SDK or a programming interface, or also if you go to the guys who are developing this software, they may be open to create such to support such an interface on their side.
Yeah, so out of the box, probably Gbxml is available. So I know a lot of Nemetschek applications, also Archicad. It's quite popular here in Germany, also in French. And they have Gbxml exports. It's not quite common, so you need to point your architect or your design planning provider that you in need of Gbxml, and then they can check and probably they find something. The ReCad interface is something which needs to be created by them, and ReCad is sadly not so popular and widespread like Gbxml. So this means there is somebody who really program interface specially to ReLux if he is using ReCad. There are some CAD applications which has takes this route and created interfaces for this, but not all of them. And Gbxml is something public, so it's public available, and it's for other applications also. It's not just exclusively for ReLux. That's why.
Great.
Okay.
The reason why it's asked for why to use this.
The question for Dialux
for Dialux, because it's not compatible with Dialux Evo. Yes.
Yeah. But this is a good question for the colleagues from Dialux. But yes, 4 is outdated, not new. This is outdated since years, almost a decade. It's outdated, so be careful. But still, it's not longer available, I guess. But it's a question of DL, and yeah, and also I have to say from the Dialux Evo part, there's also some interfaces, but not as many, I have to say, and it's not. Yeah, we have not one interface in common, so except of Gbxml, but just in one direction. Yeah, this is also a philosophy of each software house, which interfaces they take and how many and how open they are to interfaces. But today, it's my meaning, it's really important to have a lot of interfaces and all of them, and not just many, also deep of them and working of them, because you know best, you're living in a tool chain. You have not just one application for everything. Even Revit is not an application for everything. You need to come into Revit and go out of Revit to other applications for sure. And this is our philosophy. We need to interface the world and not to have everything claimed in our application. Okay.
Okay, Robert.
End of questions. End of time. Also.
End of time. So what is our next?
Our next episode. Yeah, episode 14. This is then about GLDF, what we have on our agenda for today originally. So episode 14 is about GLDF, the latest update, and it's on the 29th of September. It's not August. In August we have vacation. Klaus has vacation. I have vacation in August, and we do not any episode in this time. But in September we are back, and then we have probably to show you also more than today in GLDF. That's why we flipped this two stuff, and yeah, now in summertime we had done this more nerdy topic for the real experts or experts who want to going down into the code logic of this stuff. So So thanks for watching. Thanks for being patient with these technical topics. And next topic is more on a user application level. Promised. Yeah. Okay. See you.
Okay. Bye. See you. Enjoy the summer.